Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're your shortcut through some pretty complex stuff. Today, we're diving into the world of Ray Quinn.
Yeah, Ray Quinn. He was, a top homicide detective in Orlando. Keyword there is was.
Right. Until this tragedy just completely redefined him. Now he's working nights, security guard at the Coral Bay condos.
Mm-hmm. And he's not doing great. Crippled from being shot on duty, PTSD, living off medical retirement checks.
Keeping himself company with Jim Beam and Sudoku, from what the sources say.
Yeah.
Trying to keep the darkness out.
Exactly. His whole worldview is basically that the universe is cruel, random. He needs a cane to walk. He's haunted by his partner Trish's death. Hates crowds, hates noise.
But that darkness he was trying to avoid, it kind of came knocking, didn't it? Right there at the condo.
It walked right in, which forced him, basically, into this incredibly unconventional investigation.
Yeah, our sources give us this amazing insight into how what looked like a straightforward murder-suicide.
Involving a pastor, David Hendricks, and a woman named Jamie D'Angelo, a dancer.
How that just completely spiraled, became this hunt for a political conspiracy.
And that's our mission for this deep dive, right? We want to really break down the strategy Quinn had to use. No badge, no resources, just instincts.
And connect this really bizarre team he put together, the risky moves they made.
And ultimately this shocking discovery of police corruption that, get this, tied 4 murders together, all under the shadow group called the Lion's Den.
Okay, let's start at the scene. Hendricks and D'Angelo. The cops, specifically Detective Rick Pampas, they wanted this wrapped up fast. Murder-suicide. Case closed.
Right. Super quick. Almost too quick.
But Quinn, his detective senses, even rusty, they were just screaming that something was off. What was it? What were those specific details that made him think, no, this isn't right?
Well, it's fascinating, isn't it, how the physical evidence just didn't match that neat story. Quinn clocked 2 really crucial things.
Okay.
First, David Hendricks, the pastor, he had this fresh scrape and abrasion on his right knee, still bleeding.
Okay, so if he shot himself, that doesn't make sense. That had to happen before he died, right? Indicates a struggle or maybe a fall.
Exactly. Pre-mortem completely contradicts the official sequence of events. And second, this is pretty gruesome, there's this tiny piece of pillow matter, like stuffing, actually embedded in the head wound.
Embedded? Whoa. So that suggests...
It suggests he was shot after Jamie, maybe while he was falling or even kneeling, which could explain the knee scrape,
And the scene was staged. Made it look neat, symmetrical.
Precisely. Quinn knew almost instantly that a detective, Pampas probably, had deliberately rushed this to hide something bigger.
But, okay, he knows this, but what can he do? He's a former cop, disabled, working security. He can't exactly run a proper investigation alone.
No way. So he had to build, probably the most unprofessional, deeply compromised team you could imagine.
It sounds completely nuts. I mean, this guy was a top detective. How does he go from that to trusting? Well, who did he trust with this?
It really shows how desperate he was.
Yeah.
And maybe how cynical. He was relying on people with, frankly, nothing left to lose who didn't care about rules.
Okay, cool.
First, you've got Pam, David Hendricks' sister. She's described as this hyper-religious zealot.
Okay.
And she uses guilt, her faith, like a weapon. Get this. She actually hit Quinn across the face the first time they met.
She hit him?
Yeah. Slapped him right across the face because he insulted her dead brother. Not exactly standard procedure for building a team.
Wow, okay. That's definitely unconventional. But she helped him, logistically.
Absolutely. Motivation, some support. And then there's his night shift coworker, Crevis Creighton.
Crevis, right. The sources paint him as, earnest, but...
Yeah, learning disabled, failed the police academy test twice, but he totally idolizes Quinn.
So he becomes Quinn's, muscle partner?
Kind of his loyal, if pretty clumsy, partner on the ground. Quinn was basically trading his old detective smarts for Crevis's willingness to do the legally questionable, dangerous stuff.
And the risks just shot up immediately, did they? That trash pull seems like a huge one.
Oh, yeah. Standard PI move, maybe, but for Crevis, going through the garbage of Chance Thompson, the manager of this club, Club Venus, super dangerous.
Chance Thompson. He becomes important later, right? Manager of the club where Jamie danced.
That's him. And the trash pull, it was reckless. Crevis almost got attacked by a guard dog, a German Shepherd.
Gee.
But it paid off, big time. Confirmed Quinn was right to be suspicious.
What did they find?
Gold. A receipt for something called J&M Corporation. Containers for steroids. and some white powder residue.
Okay, definitely not the trash of a suicidal pastor.
Not even close. And that name, J&M Corporation, that was the first real hook, the first thread Quinn could pull.
So when Quinn starts using his old tricks, right? Bluffing, manipulation.
Oh, yeah. He had to. He used a payphone. Remember those?
Yeah.
To call an associate of this guy, Michael Vitaliano, pretending to be a friend of Jamie's.
Playing dirty because he had no official power.
Exactly. And he leaned on his old police contacts, too. Talked his former sergeant, Oscar Yancey, into giving him remote computer access back. Sneaky.
He knew he had to work outside the system, but use the system's information.
That was the only way. And this aggressive approach, it led him straight to the power behind it all, County Commissioner Michael Vitaliano.
Which brings us right to the conspiracy itself, the Lion's Den. So this wasn't just like a domestic dispute gone wrong.
No, not at all. This was about power, money, organized corruption right there in Orlando.
So who was in this Lion's Den?
The sources lay it out pretty clearly. It's a who's who of county power. Commissioner Vitaliano, his number was all over Jamie's phone records, by the way.
Most frequent caller, right?
Yeah. Then County Attorney Ben Scott, Judge Rafael Garcia, and this business heavyweight, Mort Connolly.
Wow, heavy hitters. And their base of operations was Club Venus, the strip club.
That was the hub, managed by Chance Thompson, the guy whose trash Crevis went through, and Jamie D'Angelo and her friend Ashley Vargas, they both danced there.
Okay, so if we're thinking motive, why kill a pastor and a dancer? What was the big prize here?
It all came down to real estate and insider trading, essentially. They were all working together on a new adult entertainment ordinance.
An ordinance? Like
Yeah.
new rules for strip clubs.
Exactly. Designed to severely limit where these clubs could operate. But they knew exactly which areas would be restricted and, crucially, which existing spots would be grandfathered in, allowed to stay.
Ah, okay, so they knew where the valuable land would be before anyone else.
You got it. They secretly used that shell company, J&M Corporation, the one from the trash pull receipt,
Right.
to quietly buy up all the property in those designated, soon-to-be very valuable zones.
So they were rigging the market, creating a monopoly for themselves on adult entertainment locations, guaranteed profits down the line.
Nailed it. Huge future profits. And the dancers, Jamie and Ashley, they weren't just dancers.
What do you mean?
They were sort of compromised assets, go-betweens. They allowed the powerful guys, the politicians, to deal directly with Thompson, the club manager, handling the property stuff without getting their own hands dirty.
Passing messages, maybe money, favors.
Probably all of the above. They were useful, convenient, until they weren't,
Wow.
until they became liabilities.
And that happened when Quinn started asking questions. The danger level went way up. Ashley Vargas, the other dancer who talked to Quinn.
She ended up dead, strangled with a pink belt. That wasn't random. That was a message.
A warning to Quinn. Back off.
Clear as day. But Quinn, well, he doesn't really do backing off. He doubled down, and then
Yeah.
he became the target.
He was attacked. Directly.
Twice. First time, ambushed in the parking garage at Coral Bay. Crevis actually saved him. Used brass knuckles he carried.
Crevis with brass knuckles. That's kind of darkly funny given his background.
Right. A moment of surprising competence, you could say. Saved Quinn's life.
And the second time.
Much closer call. Intruder broke into Quinn's apartment, had a .45 pistol, missed Quinn's head by inches.
Jeez. So this investigation is now absolutely life or death, which leads to that sting operation at Lake Eola Park.
Yeah, that got messy fast. Quinn used Katie Pham, a CSI tech he knew.
Wait, a crime scene investigator was helping him? Secretly?
Yeah, she had her own secrets. Turns out she used to dance at Club Venus, too, way back. She was trying to protect her own past, so she helped Quinn set up this meeting to try and trap the Lion's Den guys.
And Chance Thompson was there?
He was, and he pulled a gun. And Crevis, again, stepped up, shot Thompson.
Crevis shot him to protect Quinn.
In defense of Quinn, yeah. So now Thompson's down, the conspiracy members are exposed, but the body count is climbing.
Okay, so the corruption is exposed, but there's still this huge piece missing, right? Quinn suspected a link to his own shooting, the one that killed Trisha a year ago, but he hadn't proven it yet.
Exactly. That connection, that was a real bombshell. And it came from Katie Pam, the CSI tech.
The one with the secret past.
Right. Using her access, she secretly sent the gun used in the Hendricks and D'Angelo murders a Ruger 9mm with a filed-off serial number for ballistics testing. And the results came back. It was the exact same gun used to shoot Quinn and kill Trisha a year earlier.
Wow. No way. The same weapon? Connecting 4 murders across 2 different cases, separated by a year? That's not a coincidence.
Not even remotely possible. That was the smoking gun, literally. Now, the question wasn't just who staged the murder-suicide, but who had access to that specific gun.
And where did the gun come from, if the serial number was filed off?
They traced it back. It was originally from a suicide case, a guy named Clarence Stowe. That gun should have been locked up tight in the police property and evidence section.
So the killer wasn't just involved in the conspiracy. They had to be an insider, someone within the police department.
Had to be. Someone with access to the evidence room, access to the crime scenes, the reports.
And Quinn narrowed it down even more, right?
Yeah.
Using deduction.
Yeah, this part's brilliant, really. He figured the killer had that inside access, and crucially, they were a pretty bad shot.
A bad shot. Why was that important?
Because think about the ambush on Quinn and the attack in his apartment. The shooter missed multiple times at close range. Quinn reasoned it couldn't be an expert marksman, like Detective Pampas, for instance.
Right, they probably wouldn't have missed. So it had to be someone less skilled with a gun, but who still had keys to the kingdom, so to speak.
Exactly. Someone with access, maybe a motive related to Jamie D'Angelo, and not great aim.
So who fit that profile?
CSI Dean Yarborough.
The crime scene investigator. Not Katie Pham, the other CSI.
No, Dean Yarborough. Turns out he had been dating Jamie D'Angelo.
Ah, the personal connection.
Yep. And his job gave him perfect access to the evidence room, the crime scenes, everything. He was the one who stole the Stowe suicide gun in the first place.
And he used it.
He used it a year ago on Chance Thompson's orders, in the ambush that killed Trisha and wounded Quinn, trying to shut down Quinn's original investigation into their shady dealings before they even got off the ground.
My God. So Yarborough was the shooter all along. And his role in the Hendricks D'Angelo case, that was the ultimate act of covering his tracks.
Absolutely. He wasn't just processing the scene, he was actively framing David Hendricks to make the murder-suicide story stick.
How did he fake that?
The gunshot residue test? You know, the swabs they take from a suspected shooter's hands?
Yeah, to see if they fired a gun recently.
Right. Well, Yarborough just dabbed the test kits on his own hands. He fired the murder weapon, obviously. So the test came back positive for residue on the kit, which was then reported as being from David Hendricks' hands.
So he faked the key piece of forensic evidence confirming the suicide. Unbelievable.
Sealed the deal, made it look open and shut. And he also killed Ashley Vargas later. Strangled her because he was terrified she knew his name, knew he was Jamie's boyfriend, maybe knew too much.
Just tying up every single loose end. It all leads back to him.
It does. And when Quinn finally confronted Yarborough at his apartment, the whole story came out. Yarborough confessed everything. Killing Trisha, ambushing Quinn for Thompson, then killing David, Jamie, and Ashley to keep it all buried.
Just a horrifying sequence of events, all stemming from this greed, this conspiracy, and one man trying to protect himself.
A truly monstrous spiral.
So Quinn did it. He found the killer, exposed the lion's den. But he did it all off the books, wounded, with this ragtag team. What happened next? What was the fallout?
Well, it was messy, as you'd expect. Politically messy, too. Commissioner Vitaliano and his crew, Scott, Garcia, Connolly, they pretty much crumble under interrogation, faced criminal investigations, the whole 9 yards.
And Quinn, did he get any credit? Or trouble for going rogue?
Both, actually, which is kind of wild because of all the violence, the chaos at his apartment. He was briefly Baker-acted.
Seriously, they put him in for a mental evaluation after he solved everything.
Yeah, the irony, right? Mandatory 72-hour hold. But he was quickly released, and later, he actually got a department commendation for his work on the case.
Wow, that's quite a swing.
Isn't it? And the best part, maybe, he didn't try to go back to the old life. He embraced the new reality. He officially teamed up with Crevis.
With Crevis, seriously.
Yep. Opened the Night Watchman Detective Agency. His loyal, if unconventional, partner. He found a new purpose, maybe even a strange kind of kinship, in the last place he expected.
So he starts out totally broken, cynical, believing the world is just random cruelty.
Haunted by losing Trisha, by his injury.
But by digging into this one case, this murder-suicide that felt wrong, he ends up finding not just the truth, but maybe himself again.
In a way, yeah. It's a really remarkable arc, which brings us to maybe a final thought for you to chew on.
Oh.
Quinn was absolutely convinced the universe is chaotic and cruel. No order, no justice. And yet, think about how perfectly, how meticulously the pieces fell into place. This one broken detective finds the one piece of evidence, that stolen, misplaced gun, that links his deepest personal trauma directly to this massive, powerful conspiracy.
It does seem almost too neat for pure chaos, doesn't it?
It raises that question, doesn't it? Is overcoming this kind of deep, organized evil just a matter of relentless, methodical detective work?
Yeah.
Or is there maybe some element of, I don't know, destiny, fate, something ensuring the truth will eventually find a way out, even through the most damaged messenger? What do you think?